Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final third. And today we're going to be reviewing the Matchweek 11 Premier League results. I would say this week has been one of the crazier weeks. A lot of big games, a lot of shock results. Yeah, been a fantastic weekend, and for me, probably the best weekend so far. So, before we get into discussing the results, Al, do you want to reveal the player from the previous video?
Yes, the player from the last video was Emil Heskey. If you know, you know. KSI back in the day made him pretty famous, I'd say. And yeah, we'll carry on with the video.
The wrong reasons, I guess.
Yeah, quite a few reasons, yeah. Let's just jump straight into it. So, the first game of the weekend was Tottenham versus Manchester United. I love saying Manchester United first. Obviously that game ended 2-2, a draw, which I did predict. I'm going to start with Ali, and we're going to discuss the Tottenham side of things. Now, obviously, for most of the game they were losing, and they weren't looking very convincing. To be fair, Lemens had a brilliant game, made some great saves. And obviously they got into a position where they were winning late on, but it always seems that Richarlison, when he takes his shirt off, they bottle it, which is not ideal, obviously. On the Tottenham side of things, do you think it's like a psychological issue? Because it seems like their home form is really, really bad. Because again, it's another game without a win at home. So I don't know. What do you think?
To be honest, I think creatively, I don't think they're good enough. And I think James Maddison's a big loss to them. I know they brought in Xavi Simons, but unfortunately he hasn't really, done well, to be honest. I was going to say too well, but he hasn't done enough. He hasn't done well. Let's just be honest, put it that way. And that's obviously, I think that's where the problems are at the moment. I think defensively, of course, they make mistakes at times and it can cost them. But Vicario's playing really well, I think. I think he's a good keeper as well. You do have, Van der Ven, he's a great centre-back, and, they got good defenders all around. But again, I think creatively is where they're really, their problems lie. And I think in the January, they might need to get a couple more players in, possibly, in the midfield, preferably in the cam position. Just to get more chances into the box, and even the striker. I think their strikers aren't good enough either. Solanke, I don't know what's going on with him. Is he still injured? God knows. Even when he has played, he's not been good enough. Richarlison, don't even get me started with Richarlison. This guy he's the most random guy. He'll get his goal, but obviously celebrates too early. The amount of times he's done that is just unbelievable. And then, obviously, who's there? They got Colin Mwani. He's only just come in. I don't think he's even had many, too many minutes. And
he's had the last couple of games, but he's been taken off early because he's building up fitness, to be fair.
Yeah, to be fair. But it's just, he hasn't really played enough. And I think he is a good player. And maybe if he gets some more time, maybe he can come good. But for now, he just isn't doing anything. So I think, again, not only creatively, but in their, towards the final third, no pun intended, I just think they're just not finishing any chances they do get either. So I just think, I don't think defending goals is a problem, but scoring goals is their bigger problem, is my opinion on it.
That's fair enough, and you've covered the Tottenham side quite well. Hassan, obviously, since you are a Man United fan, it'd be nice to get the opinion of on your side of things. So obviously United did get a last-minute equaliser, which obviously it wasn't ideal, the position we were in. Obviously we were winning until very late on in the game, and obviously Tottenham took the lead. Getting that late equaliser, it's sort of like, what do you think? Is it 2 points dropped or 1 point gained, really?
I think when you look at what happened with Šeško especially, he had to come off after his injury, so I think it was good that with 10 men we managed to crawl back and get the goal. Look, it's not ideal. We were winning the game for quite a while until they got 2 goals in quick succession towards the end of the game. So it was very frustrating and, very upsetting as a United fan to see that. But with the circumstances that we're in, especially with Šeško, he missed 2 big chances as well, like 2 one-on-ones. So I think that's also one point you could look at as well. He looks like he's not ready, and now with the injury, it's going to hold him back even more. I think the striker issue at United has become more prevalent as well. So yeah, but in general with the team, look, I think we played really well first half, but as is a common theme with United, the second half we just complete dip in form and we don't play well. So yeah, it's just because I think we played really well first half. I think Obama got his goal, great header, and out of the cross as well. That link up between them two has been really good this season. And Bruno, obviously, he gets that assist to De Ligt for the header. Very good towering header. Can't complain at the goals, but I think that. Yeah, and the goalkeeper as well. Lemens didn't really, he couldn't really do anything for the goals. They were all like bottom corner. So you know what I mean, and one top corner.
Deflections as well in the last second.
Deflections as well. Yeah, so it's not like he could react to any of those. And it's just unfortunate for us. But I think that's been the common theme this season for us. We need to work harder in the second half a bit more and not dip down in performance, because any team can score goals against us if we keep doing that. And not really much to say other than that, but it's just disappointing, but I think that was good that the team tried and got the goal in the end.
Yeah, agreed. At the end of the day, you could probably say it's a very good result, but it's a poor performance. I think we have a couple major issues. One of the main issues being, we talk about our defense being solid. We've conceded a lot of goals this season. I think in the top 10, we've conceded the most goals, which is a massive issue. The goals conceded, we're scoring a lot of goals, if we're honest. We're scoring a very good amount of goals, and I'm happy with that side of things. And obviously, Mbeumo's playing well. Cunha could be a bit better. I'll give him that, but I've seen some fans take it to another level with Sesko and, to be fair, Cunha, but not as much as Sesko. I feel, listen, the two chances he missed. Okay, maybe I would say the one where it was he took it a bit far wide. I think the one with Van de Ven, I might give him a bit more. It's kind of the benefit of the doubt. I know he probably should be taking it first time, but Van de Ven is one of the top defenders in the league. Let alone and how quick he is. You know what I mean? He can come back against any player. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you can't defend him too much, but I feel with Man United fans, they've taken it to an extreme level, to the point where it affects these players' heads. Look at what he did to Højlund last season. You know what I mean? This guy, he got slated every single game, no backing. Remember, I'm pretty sure he's only 21 himself, or 22, or whatever. They're young players. You know what I mean? I think in the summer we made the mistake of going for Sesko. Without having an experienced player. Do you know what I mean? Having him as the lone striker is always a mistake, because we made the same mistake with Højlund, and because we did go for Watkins, obviously, and I think maybe the option of having Watkins and, let's say, a Højlund and alternate between them might have been the better option, but obviously that's how it's gone. And yeah, I feel we need to make midfield signings. That's another main position we got to go through. So I could talk about United so much more, because there are a lot of problems, but there are also a lot of positives. So we'll leave it at that for the Man United and Tottenham game, and we'll move on to the next one, and it is Everton versus Fulham. Everton won 2-0, and it was probably a result we all sort of predicted. Al, when we talk about Everton, they haven't actually had, on the table per se, they haven't actually been that great, if that makes sense, even though we talk about their attacking players being fantastic and all that. What do you think of their performance in this game?
Look, I didn't see too much of the game, unfortunately. But look, I think they are a good team, and unfortunately for them, I think a lot of teams have been really good this season. I know they're not that high up in the league, but I think that genuinely isn't necessarily down to them playing bad or anything. I think that is just other teams are playing really well that we wouldn't have expected to play so well, if you know what I'm saying. Obviously you got Sunderland, who's up in the top 4. You got Bournemouth, you got Crystal Palace, Brighton, they're always mid-table, and just these teams in general, and even like we've talked about, the promoted teams as well, they're not doing bad themselves. You know what I mean? So it does make it a look maybe not as good for Everton, but I wouldn't be too worried if I were an Everton fan. Of course, you'd hope for a bit that they can get higher up in the league and stuff. But again, the competition is just really hard, really good this season. But I think they're doing well. Of course, I don't think I have to say it. I think anyone can see where the problem is. It's literally the striker. You know what I mean? I know a lot of teams have got a problem with the striker at the moment. But Everton, they've just got two awful strikers, unfortunately. Beto's not great, and Barry's probably worse. I'm not going to lie. And it's a bit unfortunate because the rest of the team, I think, is pretty good. I think even the defence is good. I mean, look at Michael Keane, mate. You know what I mean? Scoring them the goals, you know what I mean? Obviously got the second goal in the game against Fulham. And yeah, no, I think they are playing well, and they got some exciting players. And I think in January they're going to look to get a striker. And to be honest, for Barry, he probably was better off going to the Ballers League. It's probably his level, if I'm being honest. Probably should have just gone and got the money from that, and probably build up his confidence there. Because at this rate, bro, this guy shouldn't even be in the Premier League. Probably Championship level at best, unfortunately for them. And yeah, I think if they can get a good striker in the January transfer window, then they can go on and push up the league and probably, be more of a threat to the bigger teams. But yeah, that's my analysis on Everton.
Yeah, fair enough. Very good win for them, and you're right. Probably they do need a striker to sort of become that team where they can, do more and more in these games. But Hassan, on Fulham's side of things, we've discussed it a couple times, and we've discussed how important a big midfielder is, or a good midfield. You look at their midfield. Nothing really pops out at you. There's not really a player you could say takes hold of the midfield, controls it in the starting 11 and on the bench. Now, do you think? I probably, I'll probably say that the main reason is the midfield. But is there another reason you would say Fulham aren't doing so well this season?
I say also the attack. Look, the defense as well has been shaky at times, but I think the attack and midfield's probably been one of the weak points this season. I think the winger position for Fulham is not the strongest. Obviously, your wingers are what create a lot of chances, and if you don't have any wingers that can provide chances for the striker, then it won't be beneficial for the team at all. I think Raul Jimenez has had a very good season at Wolves, so. I mean, he's very old as well. He's getting close to, he's 34 now. So, he's not a young player by any means. But
Really?
he's had a good season. Yeah. So, yeah, he's getting pretty old now. And I think they do need to invest in probably a new striker and maybe another winger as well, because I don't think Harry Wilson's playing really well for them. So, yeah, I think that's been the weakest point. I think Iwobi's not been bad for them this season. I think he's been okay. He's had good performances. In terms of the midfield, I think Lukic is not bad. I think he's okay. But I think Berg is he's just like the weak link out of the two. The team in general, it's just been a big fall off since the Fulham that we knew from like 2 seasons ago. I don't think it's down to the manager as such. I think maybe he's lost a few players that obviously were very good for him, and now the team is not playing to its best. And we look at Everton, they made really good signings and kept the players that have been there for a long time, like Michael Keane and Pickford, but just built good players around them. So when you do something like that, that can definitely help the team to become much better. But yeah, Everton do have their own problems as well. As we said, the strike position is not good, but overall the team for Everton is much stronger, I'd say, and they dominated the game in general. They create way more chances and way more shots on goal. So yeah, they had 2 goals to start from what I remember as well. So whereas for Fulham, they didn't really see much of that. But yeah, that's my side of the Fulham things.
Yeah, you guys covered the game pretty well. I don't really think there's any more I can add on the game. So I say we just move on to the next game, which is one that I'm guessing Ali will be very happy about, and it is West Ham versus Burnley. 3-2 win for West Ham. Now, obviously, you did win the game out, but it was a very shaky game to say the least, obviously, by the scoreline. Maybe you could say that. I don't know. I didn't really watch the game. Maybe you can give us a bit more of an insight on it. But, is it worrying you conceded 2 goals at home against a newly promoted side, Al?
First thing I want to say, West Ham are massive everywhere we go, mate. Second thing, let's get into the game. Yeah, look, the second goal was just a mistake by Areola, to be honest. So it's not necessarily anything to do with the team. It was just a mistake by Areola towards the end. The first goal, there's only one man to blame for that. And I've said it, bro, Kilman, I swear to God, man, just partner up, please, bro. Honestly, I don't want to keep talking about that guy because there's so many words I could say about that guy that, to describe him, but I'd probably get this video demonetized and probably taken off YouTube. So we'll just leave it at that. He's just awful. Bro, I don't know, he didn't even attempt to defend that cross. Literally, the cross comes in and he's just there, doesn't jump up and just tries to push the guy, bro. He's useless. And if I'm being honest, like with West Ham, obviously we've been awful so far this season, and luckily we've won. Was it 2 back-to-back games, which is really good. However, it's like we don't start playing until we concede, which is a massive problem. You know what I mean? And to be honest, it's been like that for a long time. And we after the goal, we did finally start to play. Well, obviously we got the goal just before half time, but even then, up until like the 70th minute. Nothing was happening for us, and if anything, I thought maybe Burnley could score next. But then the man, the myth, the legend, the Czech hero came on. And if I'm being perfectly honest, when I saw that he was going to sub off Wilson for like Souček and stuff, I was bare confused. I was like, no way, this man is going for a draw, at home against Burnley. What are we doing? But how dare I? How dare I not think that Souček could save us, bro? This man is a superhero for us. You know what I mean? Honestly, Souček for Ballon d'Or, 100%. To be honest, I think he deserves it. But luck, comes on, gets the second goal, and then basically gets the third goal. The shot was just so hard with the Babka to save. That's what we expect from Souček. And what gave a tap in for Kyle Walker-Peters, which you love to see. And I can't lie, it's all good and I'm very happy, but when I look at the next fixtures, man, it's looking long, bruv. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to enjoy and savor this win as much as physically possible, because brother, we got the worst set of fixtures coming up, bruv. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm gonna be enjoying Christmas, mate. I might as well put on my wish list to Santa. Just don't let us get relegated, I don't know, just give us a miracle, because that's my only hope at this rate, bro. But no, I'll try to savor this win as much as I can until the international break ends and we have to face Bournemouth, and I'll probably end up crying after we get bad, like God knows how many goals, to be honest. But
yeah, fair enough. I mean, if Scott McTominay got nominated for the Ballon d'Or, surely Souček should too. Huh?
Vitinha who?
Literally Vitinha who? Pedri who? De Jong. Yeah, all right. Let's. Okay. On the Burnley side of things, Hassan. They've gone away to West Ham. I mean, like you say, probably West Ham had a bit of a comfortable game, but it shows that the promoted sides really are giving good games. I mean, I don't know whether Ali would agree with this. I'm not sure whether you watched the game.
They played well.
They played well. Do you know what I mean? And they gave West Ham a good game. Who are, they're a consistent Premier League side, and to be fair, they're in kind of a good vein of form. Do you think that they should be worried after a result like this?
I saw a few of the highlights actually, and I think they took the goals really well. I think Hannibal Mejbri, he had a very good shot on goal, and that obviously, led to the error by Areola. Look, I think that Burnley are not a bad team at all. I think they do create a lot of chances. They had a lot of chances on goal, so they could have easily won the game if they'd taken the chances and probably scored all the chances. So, it's not a bad result for them at all. I mean, 3-2. I mean, you see that West Ham obviously had a better side. But I think West Ham obviously, don't make it easy for them. They always make it hard for themselves to win the game. They just create mistakes at the back, and either the goalie or the defense in general. Maybe a bit of a Kilman as well. But I think that Burnley have been dangerous in that game. They had a lot of chances, so they could have, as I said, they could have easily took the game and took the 3 points. But credit to West Ham for fighting towards the end and scoring those goals. I don't think they should be worried at all, because they're playing away from home, and Burnley is a promoted side, so I think they need more time to settle in the Premier League, and I think they're doing a good job of that, to be fair.
Yeah, 100%. Like we said, the promoted side is doing very well this season. So let's move on to the next game, which involves one of the promoted sides, and probably one of the maybe shock results of the weekend, maybe you could say that. Sunderland have got a draw 2-2 against Arsenal. Now, I'm going to get Ali to talk about the Sunderland side of things. Al, massive result for Sunderland. Obviously, we know how good they've been this season, but to get a result against the league leaders, even if it's at home, is huge, especially with the position they were in. To get that goal in the I think it was in the dying seconds of the game.
Minute,
so there we go. I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, it's a massive result for them, and to be honest, man, every week they just shock us even more in good ways. I'm very happy for them. I think they deserve it. I think this season they've been one of the best teams. Obviously, I mean they're up there, and considering we didn't expect this from them. Again, we came into the season thinking, yeah, Sunderland, they could, if any of the promoted sides are going to stay in the league, it's probably going to be them. But I didn't think too much into it. I thought, yeah, they'll stay in the league, maybe get like a mid-table max. But look at them, bro. They're literally challenging. I know it's only not even halfway through the season, but when you see the way they're performing, that's when you realise, yes, there is a chance for them, because they're not just getting results by the skin of their teeth. They're really fighting, and they're getting into games. And even fair play to the manager, the way he's managing the games as well with the substitutions. You got to give it to him, because obviously he brought on Brian Bobby in the 63rd minute, and that's who got the goal in the end. You know what I mean? I hear, I think there was a couple of mistakes down the Arsenal side for that goal, but at the end of the day, you still have to cut. You can only play what you're coming up against, and he got the goal, and fair play to them. And obviously, we know how good Arsenal have been, especially in terms of defensively. That's why it's been that game was such a shock to everyone. I think because we didn't expect. Obviously, we predicted Arsenal to concede a goal, but I didn't think they would draw the game. Also, Stadium of Light is a very good stadium. That atmosphere, gets the players going and stuff like that. So that's definitely was going to be an advantage for Sunderland, and it was in the end. But yeah, if Arsenal aren't careful and they, start bottling games, are they going to do it again? Are they going to come second for a fourth time in a row? Look, it's like points like this that can lead to this kind of mentality of losing games and stuff like that. I know, look, it's only the first time they've dropped points in God knows. I can't remember the last time they dropped points against Liverpool. It was the last time I can remember, but they might have before that. But nonetheless, I think it's a massive result for Sunderland, and for Arsenal, it's probably disappointing to say the least.
Obviously, Hassan Ali was just mentioning Arsenal. To concede a goal like that at the end, I don't know whether you've seen the goal. I'm guessing you have. Calamitous to say the least from both Gabriel and Raya. What would you say is sort of a consensus maybe in the Arsenal side of things? Is it, again, do you think it's 2 points dropped?
100%. I think for a team like Arsenal is challenging for the title, we should aim to win every single game, And Sunderland, we know them; they're a very good team, and they're playing at home. But if you're Arsenal, you should be winning these games. These are the games that decide if you win the title or not from the very beginning. So, as Ali said, if you keep drawing or losing points, that can definitely set a mentality, and not make them win the league, because in order to win the league, you need to have a strong mentality throughout the season. In terms of that goal, just as you said, calamitous defending from both Gabriel and Raya, just colliding into each other. Just a lot of miscommunication happened there, and it happens in football sometimes. But if we've praised Arsenal's defense this much, they should be handling that way better. Credit to Bobby as well. He took it really well. Great finish, but in the first place, that should not happen, because the keeper came off his line, collided with his defender and let him shoot. So, just not great from either two. But I think that, Arsenal just looking off, I think Saka played really well, but I think that they are missing Gyökeres, I think he's still got a bit of a knock or injury. So obviously he doesn't want to start him, just in case he gets injured again. I think with some of the chance, I think Saliba also missed one chance too. In that position, Gyökeres would have finished it if he was in that position. So, I feel like losing a big play like that, especially Arsenal, who's had a striker problem for a long time, when you don't have a striker, or you've bought a striker and he's not injured, that's definitely going to have an impact on the team. So, but I think overall, I think Arsenal didn't play terrible, but I think the defence, those mistakes cost them a lot. So they need to, regroup and, do better next time.
100%. Like you were saying about Gyökeres, that is a major loss, because it's not just the fact that maybe he could have scored a couple of chances as well. It's the fact that he's able to occupy the centre backs and sort of give players like Saka, like Trossard, like Eze more opportunities to sort of go forward, and while obviously Gyökeres is dealing with the centre backs. So it was a big loss for them, and obviously I think it's a very major reason why they weren't able to get all 3 points in this game, because I feel like they would have been more convincing with him in the side. Yeah, again, it's not probably a terrible performance on the Arsenal side of things, but it's just fantastic from Sunderland, you know, to get that last-minute equaliser and keep the dream alive. I guess the dream story, the dream start. Because again, you got to remember that then they didn't actually qualify through the automatic places; they qualified through the playoffs, and only just as well. So you know, it's magical.
I was just going to add, Carlos, do you remember the point you made at the start of the season about Sunderland with Newcastle?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to mention that?
And you know what it is? You know what it is? Yeah. Everybody called me crazy. They did. And like the thing is, yeah, the only problem right now is we don't have any proof of it really. But you
No,
can ask the
I'm
boys.
a witness. He did say. What did
Ali's
you
a
say?
witness. Hassan's a witness.
Yeah,
I
he did say
said
it.
Sunderland are gonna finish above Newcastle. Newcastle fans, you can cry all you want. I said that, right? And they're proving it. So fair play to them, and I hope they do it because that is something that I actually thought would happen, and yeah, it's gone and happened. Well, not happened, but it's gonna happen. I feel like. So yeah. That's I'll just add that part at the end. So yeah, let's move on to the next game, shall we? It is Chelsea versus Wolves. Now, kind of a lot going on in this game, really. Not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. I feel like Al, I'm going to ask you about the Wolves side of things, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot has happened with them this season. They've been terrible, to say the least. Been awful, you know, and they are rock bottom of the Premier League. Looks like there's no hope, but they have appointed Rob Edwards. I believe
they have?
it's not. If it's not confirmed, Fabrizio Romano has said it will be confirmed.
Okay.
So and David Ornstein too. So they have got a new manager. This is the last game without obviously. Do you think? I think we can discuss the game, but they have been so poor. I will ask you about what do you think that they can achieve with potentially Rob Edwards?
Ugh, man, look, one of the Wolves fans commented on one of the videos, you know, just talking about how dire the situation is, and, you know, I felt really bad for him, and, like, and I do, because Wolves is a good side, and it wasn't that long ago when they were with Nuno, that they got Europe. And it's really sad to see the fall off, you know. But I've mentioned it many times before how teams like Wolves, and it's not just Wolves, but like, I don't want to say a small team because they're not a small team, and these clubs aren't small clubs to say the least. They have history and they are good clubs. But clubs like, I mean, you even think about, obviously us, West Ham, we were in Europe not that long ago, and now look how we've fallen off. It's because the inability to like keep players because of the status that we have, not just that, but the ownership. Of course, look, when you got owners that just don't put any direction into the club, don't try, you know, they don't care for the club. It's really hard to like can carry on that momentum, carry on that you know, just carry on those results and try and, you know, stay in Europe. It's hard because they, you know, players get sold. There's no direction, so players that are getting signed aren't necessarily good enough to replace those that have left. And obviously, it's hard to keep those players as well because when a bigger club like obviously Cunha went to United, Nori went to City, there was no way they were going to be able to convince them to stay. You know what I mean? And when they go, it's obviously shown in the results and the performances and, you know, the place that they are on the table, how much of an effect it can have. And to be honest, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't think look. I hope for their sake that Rob Edwards or whoever it is can do something for them. But honestly, man, they need a miracle to really, you know, get anything from this season. I genuinely think it is championship for them, and good luck to them in the championship, to be honest, because I think that's where they're going to be. And at this rate, if they can perform, if they perform like that, I don't even know if they'll come straight back up. I think it'll be a while. I think they'll need to sell the club possibly and get another owner to like put in a direction to the club because it's really that bad. I think it really is.
Yeah, you know what it is? I did see something earlier, and it was that Wolves, they're actually having a very similar season they had last season. They were rock bottom last season too. They had very similar points. But again, I feel like last season is very different to this season. I feel like this season is so much more competitive, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for them. Even if they went on a good run of games, they'd need to go on a good run of games against all of these competitive teams, which it doesn't look like they're being competitive at all themselves. But we'll move on to the Chelsea side of things. Hassan, convincing win for Chelsea, expected win for Chelsea. Let's mention one player who started and was their man of the match, Alejandro Garnacho. Yeah, it's really strange how when players leave Manchester United, they become unbelievable, and he had a great game. The two assists, yeah, you may not like him, but
Nah,
the
not
two
even that,
assists he
bro.
got in that game, the way he played, he was their best player. So, what do you think?
Look, I will say one thing. Yeah, look, it was a good performance by him, but it is against Wolves, a
That's what I was
team
gonna
that's
say.
obviously at the bottom of the league, and not playing up to the standards. So I wouldn't be too excited as a Chelsea fan, thinking that he's gonna be reborn and play well against the big teams. But definitely a good performance from him. I think for one of the goals, he just had insane pace and just outpaced the right back and passed it right into Neto. So yeah, I mean, it was a great performance from him. He was very dangerous on that wing. But yeah, I think overall Chelsea, I mean, you expect them to come in and dominate the game, which they did. So yeah, Joao Pedro also had a very nice finish for one of the goals. So yeah, it looks like the attack for Chelsea is looking good, but I think, as I said, it is against Wolves, a team that's not really playing well. So like, you do need to see how they will fare against the big sides, because Chelsea against the big sides have not really had the best results. I mean, against Liverpool they have, but against the others, not so much. So I'd like to see more consistency from the attack for Chelsea, and then I'll be able to give a proper opinion about what I think. But yeah, obviously in that game you could definitely say Garnacho was the most influential player. Very direct, very quick, and actually passing the ball to the other attackers, which he didn't really do at United. So yeah, frustrating to watch as a United fan, but I'm glad that Rat is gone anyways.
Yeah, yeah, but to be fair, it is really strange how when people or players leave Manchester United, they perform well. I don't know whether you guys have seen Rashford is the top assister in La Liga. It's
Yep.
mad. It's mad how players leave.
Anthony
Scott
playing as well.
McTominay, Anthony playing unbelievable. Scott
Even
McTominay won
Onana,
the
man.
league with Napoli last season. I mean, Hoyland's doing. I don't know how he's doing. I know he started the season quite well for Napoli. It's mad, isn't it? Well, again, let's move on to the next game, and definitely the shock result of the weekend. Aston Villa beat Bournemouth 4-0. What more can you say, really? It's massacre. I'm pretty sure in the game, Emi Martinez saved the penalty and made a great save as well. So that's another thing. Al, I'm going to ask you about the Aston Villa side of things. Unbelievable performance from them.
Unbelievable.
Obviously a deserved win, because 4-0 is so convincing against a great side. I believe the game was very close actually in terms of the game itself, but they won 4-0. They took their chances. Bournemouth didn't. What more can you really say? Do you want to add anything on the game?
What I will say, yeah, obviously, I don't think any of us predicted Aston Villa to win. I mean, me and Charles predicted Bournemouth to win, and how wrong were we? If I'm being honest, I had a little feeling, and I know I went 3-1, so I obviously clearly went against Villa, but I still had a feeling maybe I'd be wrong and Villa could get something out of it. And I mean, 4-0, that's something, you know what I mean?
That's more than something, mate.
That is more than something, bro. But look, Villa definitely have the capability to get wins like this. They have such a good squad, and they've turned around their season big time, and I'm happy for them, because to be fair, that start of the season they had was, I mean, it was awful. They didn't even score a goal for God knows how long. But yeah, no, like I said before, even when they weren't playing, they have the team, they have the manager to do well, because yeah, they've proven it before. And yeah, because who did they play in the last game? I can't even remember now. Who was their last game? Let me just get that.
That's a good question. Let me have a look. I'll get that. But in the meantime,
It was. Oh, sugar. I don't even
It was Liverpool, wasn't it?
I think it was Liverpool.
yeah, they will. Well, no,
Yeah.
they played obviously the Europa League game, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
count that.
But look, yeah, like I said,
Before that, they beat Man City.
yeah. But like I said, they're just a great. They're a great team, got great players, and when they're playing to their best, that's how they are. They get results like this. Obviously, again, I'm just absolutely bamboozled when I saw it was 4. I thought, okay, maybe they could win 2. Maybe Bournemouth would get a goal. But yeah, no, in terms of Villa, it's amazing. And from Bournemouth side, I hope it's no offense to them, I hope it's a bad sign, because from their side, because to be honest, we got them next after the international break, and for the love of God, I just hope they don't batter us. So I'm hoping this is kind of a bit of a fall off for them. No offense.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah. Again, let's talk about the Bournemouth side of things, Hassan. You know, I would, sometimes I ask you when teams lose or draw or drop points, whether it's something to worry about. This clearly is something to worry about. 4-0, whether it's away or from home or not. I know Aston Villa are a good side and they've beaten big teams this season. But, to perform the way they did, and they didn't play terrible, but their finishing seems to be a massive issue. Obviously, they missed a penalty. Emi Martinez saved that. And, that's obviously a big chance to get a goal. What do you think, really, Hassan?
Yeah, I think as you guys mentioned from the start, it's just one team taking the chances and the other just missing all the chances. So yeah, in these games you got to be clinical and finish off all your chances. And I think the midfield, obviously, as Carlos points out in every video, pretty much the midfield is where you win or lose the games. So I think midfield,
you know me, I love my midfields, mate. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so it's like you were right about that, because I think the midfield for Aston Villa dominated that game, and that's what ideally caused them to create these chances and score. So yeah, and I think also there's a difference between the two goalies as well. Martinez comes in and saves a penalty, which is good, but I think Petrovic didn't have the best of games. But yeah, I think it is something to worry about, because you just couldn't see enough of fight for them to try and at least get a few chances shot at goal. But I think some of the chances towards Martinez were not great. I think he had a few good stops, but I think just not enough to danger the goalie or even put it at the back of the net. So that's definitely something to worry about. And defensively, obviously, when you concede 4 goals, that's not good enough. So yeah, definitely some signs of worry. But we've seen good performance from Bournemouth. I think that it could be just a blip, just one bad game. But because we've seen it with United, for example, with 7-0 against Liverpool. So yeah, it could easily just be something like that. But yeah, I think we'll see from next game how they do. But it's all about for them to regroup and get along with the coach and try to do things better for next week.
Yeah, agreed. You guys covered the game quite well, so let's move on to the next one, and it is Brentford versus Newcastle. A game I don't think is a blip for me. Newcastle have been very poor this season. So, Al, obviously talking about Newcastle, obviously you beat them in the last game as well, I believe by the same scoreline, right? 3-1?
Yeah.
3-1, yeah. So, very, very strange how their season's going, isn't it? They've got some very, very good players. One of the best midfields. But I feel like the place they're losing is their defense, and that's just from my analysis of it, really. What do you think is really going wrong for Newcastle at the moment?
I agree. I think it is the defence, and it's funny because obviously Dan Burn did get sent off, and I genuinely think the problem is the pace in the defence. I think when you have 2 big defenders like that, Shah and like him, or obviously I know Thiaw also plays. I'm not sure how he's like, but you need
as well.
Botman as well. They are quite slow. I think sometimes
Trippier is quite slow.
Trippier, he's getting on in age. He is a good player, but I think it's the balance in the defense. It's not good enough. If you know what I mean. Like when you have too many players that can't really recover, it's going to cause problems, and it has caused them problems this season, unfortunately. If you just pop balls through that, past them, it's good luck for Newcastle. You know what I mean? Because when you got defenders that slow, they're not going to recover. And look, it's sad for Dan Burn, because obviously in the week he scored one of the most outrageous headers I think I've ever seen. Defied the laws of physics, bro. How the hell has that guy managed to score a finesse with his head, bro? Like, how's that even physically possible? Just to go and get a bloody red card on the weekend, though. So sad side. But look, it is a bit worrying, I would say, for Newcastle. And something I heard someone ask: has Eddie? I was about to call him Eddie Hearn again, bro. What's his bloody name, bro?
Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe. Literally, Eddie Howe. Has he taken this team as far as he can? And I don't know what you boys think, but look, obviously I don't think it's entirely his fault. I think, again, like I say, the balance in the defense isn't great. But I don't think he went out for... Well, I mean, they got Thiaw, to be fair, but apart from him, I don't think they really went out for many other defenders.
Thiaw.
And And look, to be fair, in the transfer window, it wasn't great for them anyway. They didn't get any of their first choices. Obviously, in Bournemouth, didn't get him. Who else did they go for? Sesko didn't get him. I mean, I think Voltemade, no offense to Sesko, I think Voltemade is still better. I know he hasn't necessarily had a great game, but I think still Voltemade is a great thing. And obviously, he hasn't probably got the chances maybe that he's had previously where he was finishing them off. I think just give him the chance, and usually he finishes them off. He's a good player. But again, it's. I'm look. If you're a Newcastle fan, you just let us know what is the problem. Is it the defense or is it something else? But yeah, that's my analysis on that.
I think you're right about the manager. To be fair, I think. Listen, he's a good manager. I feel like he's got them and done very well. Don't take anything away from Eddie Howe, not Eddie Hearn, and what he's done with the club. You know, he won them their first trophy in 70 years or something like that. Something crazy amount of time.
60 something
so,
years.
You know, do you know what I mean? About 70 years. So fair play to him. He done so well with the club, but you know, with the trajectory the club is at in terms of the players they have and you know everything, really, I feel like they should be going for one of the bigger managers. With all due respect to Eddie Howe, so. Yeah, that's just me adding a little bit onto the Newcastle side of things. But Hassan, Brentford, my God, they are proving me and Ali wrong. It's like they have a grudge against us. You know what I mean? We predicted them to get relegated. They're beating all of the big sides at home. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Fair play to them.
Please forgive me. Please forgive me.
Honestly, please forgive us. We are sorry. We are sorry. Do you know what I mean? And you did beat both our clubs as well. So funny. It's really funny.
Karma's a funny thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, unbelievable thing. One player, one place I want to talk about in terms of midfield. Midfield. Oh, it's talking about midfield. Sorry about that. Brentford is their attack. Obviously, they replaced Wissa and Burmo, and it looks like they haven't missed them. To be honest with you, you know, Thiago, second top goal scorer in the league, which is unbelievable. To be honest, I mean, Haaland's obviously miles clear as we expect. But yeah, what do you think about Brentford?
Yeah, unreal season from Thiago so far. I mean, this guy scored against the big teams pretty much all the time. I mean, he scored against United twice and he scored against Newcastle twice again. So yeah, I don't know if he scored. I think he scored a goal against Chelsea as well. But yeah, he's just scoring goals like constantly now, which is great to see. Because we were kind of feeling bad for Brentford. They lost all their big players. They lost the manager as well. So that's why you guys kind of predict them to get relegated. But obviously, I still thought they're not bad enough. Even without this players to get relegated. But I think definitely the season would have been, much worse than before those players went. So yeah, but I do think they're playing really well for what they have, and they've signed still good players in other positions like Henderson, for example. He's brought a lot of experience and leadership into the team, and Keller as well. He was playing for Liverpool at some point, doing really well for them, and now he's starting for Brentford every single game. So it's great to see those players finding a new home and doing well. And Ouattara as well, as you said, playing in a Burma's position. I don't think he had the best game, that game, but I do think that he does provide a lot of danger and direct attack, kind of like what Burma does for United as well. So yeah, and also Kevin Schade as well. He's been decent this season. He's had a few goals as well. So yeah, overall the team performance for Brentford is really good, and obviously at home they've got a very good record as well. So yeah, nothing really to say other than just a very impressive season from them.
100% agreed with you. Unbelievable how they're doing so well this season. And to be fair, like Hassan was saying, the reason why we did predict them to get relegated, and to be fair, it's kind of I thought it was a fair prediction at the time, and to be fair, even now I don't really regret making that prediction. It's the fact that they lost so many things and everything was almost against them, but fair play, they performed a miracle and they're doing very well this season, so credit to them. Let's move on to the next game, and a bit of a ball fest, probably a very disappointing game. We thought this game would probably be a lot more exciting, and it is Crystal Palace versus Brighton. I believe it's a derby. I'm not sure what the name of the derby is per se, but bit of a ball fest, 0-0. Nothing really happened, to be honest with you. I don't know whether what do you guys think about the game, to be honest?
I'll keep my thing brief. It was just a ball fest, like Carl said. I'm not gonna lie. There was not many chances in the game. I think I just checked it. Crystal Palace had 2 shots on target, and Brian had 3. So clearly not many chances. Even the shot accuracy was pretty low. So again, just nothing to really excite anyone. I think Brighton had a pen overturned because Rutter dived, is what the ref said. Again, I didn't really see it, so I'm not sure if it was any controversy with that. But yeah, not just a snooze fest. I don't really think there's a lot we can talk about. I mean, look, I think it's a better result for Brighton because, again, I think we all expected Crystal Palace to win this game, and if I'm being honest, I thought it would be a bit comfortable for them. I wouldn't say necessarily it's the biggest worry. I think it is points dropped for them though, and I think it's a bit unfortunate for them in their race to get like Europe or whatever they want to achieve, because obviously points like that, when you expect it to win the game, it's a big big drops, points dropped. But again, yeah, it's just a ball fest really. No, there's not really much I can say, I guess. Yeah. Just
Fair enough.
boring.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think Hassan, I'll give you maybe a little point to talk about, I guess. I mean, the goalkeeper's made a couple saves. I don't really know what to say, to be honest with you.
That was one thing I was gonna say as well. Like, I feel like Verbruggen had a good game. I think he had a few good stops. So yeah, obviously, goalkeepers can come and get a result. Even when the team is not playing well. Because I don't think either team played really well. I think Henderson was also decent. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about, really. Just both teams just not firing on all cylinders, and especially the attacks from either side weren't great. So yeah, not really much to say other than that.
There we are. I think we'll just leave it at that, to be fair, for that game. But we'll move on to the next one, and it is Mr. Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest, and they beat Leeds 3-1. Now, they're starting to look a bit better, Nottingham Forest. They had a terrible start to the season under Nuno and Ange. And now, Mr. Sean Dyche bringing Brexit ball, and seems to be working. So, fair play to him. Al, what do you think on the Forest side of things?
It's bloody lovely, mate. Yeah, I love Brexit. I love me a bit of Brexit ball. Yeah, and I love when it works. Like I said, when Sean Dyche came in, he'd stabilise Nottingham Forest. I didn't say, I don't think they're going to be a massive threat to some clubs, but I think he will just stabilise them, keep them in the Premier League. And look, they got Europe still, so you never know what they could do with that. But yeah, no, it's an amazing win for them. I think we expected this, to be honest, because no offense to Leeds, we've said it before, they're not good enough of a team compared to the other promoted sides. I don't really think they invested well in the transfer window to be able to be a threat. Look, they're still doing better than I expected, and fair play to them. But again, I think it was about time for Forest. They're at home, and good for. I'm happy for Sean Dyche, because again, like I said, I just love me a bit of Brexit ball. So you know what I mean. So I love to see it come off, and it's a good win for them. Let me see who scored in that game. Obviously, Elliot Anderson got a pen at the end to make it 3-1. Fair play to him. He's a great player. I think he's going to be in the England team as well. Deservedly so. He's been such an amazing player for Forest, and I think a lot of teams would love to have them in his team, and it wouldn't surprise me if he goes on to a bigger club. Same with Gibbs White.
Please be United.
Bro, I think any team would take him at this point. Even Morgan Gibbs White as well. I think he's a very good creative outlet for them. And they got a good team. I've said it before. I think they got a good team. I think Sean Dyche will come in, stabilise them like I said he would. And this has come off. Finally, they've got the win that they deserve.
Yeah, 100%. Now they're starting to build a bit of momentum, I guess, and let's see what can be good for them. Because we remember how good they were last season under Nuno. So, I don't know whether they'd reach the heights of that, but I'm sure at this point, if they can build up the form, they probably won't get relegated. That's what Sean Dyche does. He gets teams out of relegation scraps. So, yeah, that's what the thing is with Forest. Speaking of relegation, Hassan, do you think that Leeds are probably the most likely side at the promoted sides to be relegated?
I think it's a battle between Burnley and Leeds, but I do think Burnley has had better performances in general. I think right now Leeds are still a point ahead of Burnley, so I guess you can say that they're in a better position, but I don't think that's much better. So yeah, I think towards the end of the season you might see Leeds, getting a bit below them and into the relegation zone. But yeah, I mean, in this game you're expecting Leeds to lose. I mean, Nottingham Forest got better players overall. I mean, we kind of said this about Leeds from the start of the season. They don't have enough quality to remain in the Premier League. I mean, it's obvious when you look at the squad that they're not good enough. Yeah, especially the defensive side of things. I think Leeds have conceded a lot of goals this season. So, yeah, especially that Arsenal game, it was a big, not a great start to the season for them. So, yeah, I just think, they're lacking quality and they do need to sign a bit more players. Obviously, they're a promoted side, so it's going to be hard for them to sign more players with the capacity that they got, the financial capacity. So, yeah, I mean, they have to try and find a way to get better results, because if this carries on, then the sights of relegation is going to be even more closer now, and they can't rely on being only 1 point from Burnley, because I mean, from the relegation zone they're only like a couple of points away anyway. So yeah, they need to play better and start getting better results.
100% agreed. Yeah, like you said, I don't really think there's much more we can add on Leeds. I feel like it's kind of expected that, a lot of promoted sides, they come in. And to be fair, they're not like just doing what the promoted sides did last season when they just weren't good enough at all. The promoted sides are really giving it a good go. Obviously, Sunderland's way above the other two, but I feel like Burnley and Leeds are giving good games, but the quality just obviously is a massive reason why I just don't think they're going to be able to stay in the league this season, to be honest. So, yeah, that's that game over. But we'll move on to the big game, and it is Manchester City. They thrashed Liverpool 3-0. Great result for City, terrible one for Liverpool. But I think it's a very fair result, to say the least. Maybe Liverpool fans will complain about the refs. Is that fair? Al, I wanted to ask you, because I think we were discussing this about the goal that Liverpool got. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a goal, or do you think it should have been disallowed?
Maybe a bit harsh, but I think I don't think it should be disallowed. I think it should have been disallowed. To be honest, not gonna lie, I do think he's blocked the keeper a little. I don't care what Liverpool fans say. I think it shouldn't have been a goal, personally. Good header from Van Dijk, but too bad for him, innit? But to be honest, I don't think that would have done much for the game. I think they probably still would have lost. Obviously, it made it 1-0 at the time, so you never know. But look, I think at the moment City are just a bit above Liverpool, and I think with Liverpool, I don't want to shit on them or anything, but I think they're just slowly trying to get back into form after the run of losses that they had. So I think a game like this they were always going to lose. But no, look, there were some good players for City that surprised me. Jeremy Doku, we've talked many times about him, how good he can be as long as he can improve his final third, like himself in the final third. Again, no pun intended. He just needs to be better there with his finishing decision making. But no, he scored a fantastic goal today, so fair play to him. And obviously, the second goal was a bit lucky. It was a deflection. Van Dijk standing like a statue for some reason, and screwed over the keeper because it deflected and went in. To be fair, I thought City would win, but I thought it did shock me a little that they won 3-0, if I'm being honest. But again, Haaland getting his goal, like we said, inevitable. Am I going to have to keep saying this every week? I don't know. Probably. This guy's a robot at this point. You know what I mean? But is there a lot to say? Not really. It was just that I think it was, just City outclass them, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will give a little special shout out to Gonzalez. I think is that how you say his name? I know he's not Portuguese.
Yeah.
Gonzalez. To be fair, I'm saying it in Portuguese, but he's Spanish, so he's a great player, and he's actually, to be fair, he's coming in not replaced Rodri, but he's doing a very good job.
Rodri 2.0.
Maybe. Well, you never know. He did score in the game. Obviously, major deflection. I think some places tried to call it a Van Dijk own goal, but obviously it got given to him. So there we are. Hassan, on the Liverpool side of things, disgusting, to be honest with you, mate. It's it's good for us. Yeah, I'm gassed. You know what I mean? To be fair, I said it before the game. I'm like, I wish both teams could lose. You know what I mean? But obviously that's not possible. What do you think the problem is? I mean, they had a good vein of form. Won the last two games, beat Real Madrid, but they're back in the dumps, I guess.
I don't know. They just didn't look like they were playing with intensity at all. I think City with the high press and in general the midfield in City just completely dominated Liverpool. We talked about Ryan Gravenberch and McAllister had a very good duo and they're very good midfielders, but they were completely dominating that game. They were completely missing whatsoever, like just not in the game at all. And obviously, you talk about Van Dijk as well. Van Dijk had not the best game at all. He was kind of fault for 2 goals, especially against Haaland. Didn't bother jumping for the header. So yeah, it's just not great at all from Van Dijk. We kind of spoke about him.
I think it was Kanate on the.
It might have been Kanate, but I think he was off for a different goal as well. But yeah, Van Dijk and John didn't have a good game. But he's had that bad patch of form for a while now. So yeah, I don't know. Will Liverpool replace him eventually? I don't know. Who knows? Because he is getting on age. He's 34. He's just not the same player as he was.
Listen, just say it, mate. Just say he's finished. Just say it. Come on.
I don't want to say he's finished. I mean, there's always class. Form is temporary, but class is permanent. Like you can't put off a player completely. He's had good games this season too, but I think he's had a lot of bad games as well. So you can't really say that he's been overall good. So yeah, and Mamardashvili as well. He did concede a penalty, but he did save it eventually after. So he made up for his mistake. But yeah, just the whole team in general, just looking, just one team was playing well, one team wasn't in it at all. And it's not really sad to see. Obviously, I'm a United fan. I'm kind of happy as well. But of course, City winning 3-0, it's just literally who do I prefer on the day? Like they're both City and Liverpool. I hate them both, so it's like I'm not really happy at either. But yeah, I mean, City just played really well. It was fun to watch them play really well. Doku is a very exciting player. Insane dribbling. Even his finishing is not being terrible this season. I think last season he didn't really score a lot of goals, but that goal was just insane. And you talk about Matthijs Nunes, I think that's the name. His cross to Haaland was insane. Like just a perfect curve cross to his head and in the goal. Haaland didn't have to do much other than just jump and just wait for the ball to hit his head because the cross was that perfect. So it was just waiting to sit on Haaland's head and just go in. So yeah, fair enough. City played really well and they deserved the win. And I also before the game I predicted 2-1, so I was not expecting Liverpool to get beat that badly, to get battered basically. But it just happens when one team turns up and the other one doesn't turn up.
Agreed. I didn't predict I predicted a draw actually, so I thought it would be a much closer game than what happened. But obviously Liverpool didn't perform at all, and I'll give a little shout out to O'Reilly. Absolutely pocketed Salah, mate. That guy, Tamakul Saudi, mate. Already knows Arabic, so it's easy enough. You know what I mean? And Burmo is clear, so yeah, just
fast track him.
Yeah, literally get him out of here, mate. But yeah, listen, it was terrible from Liverpool, and to be fair, the way that they were kind of reliant on Salah last season, the fact that he has fallen off so much is obviously a major reason why they're not doing so well. So yeah, I also believe that too. But that is it, guys. That is this weekend done. Like we said, very exciting weekend, and let's hope we have more to come for the Premier League. But before we go, I think we'll do the leaderboard first. Al, if you want to put the leaderboard here. So that's there. A bit of a interesting one. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Al, making a little comeback.
Yeah, we're drawing at the moment.
But stinky week, to be fair. Other stinky week, I think. Not the best.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know about myself. I don't know what position I'm in right now. Maybe I'm catching up. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully
not. Because
I need to... Come on, bro, that's harsh. Let's hope we can make that comeback, I'm not saying I'm going to win the thing, just don't buy the shit. Anyway, Al, do you want to give us the player for this video? Oh, yes. Not the player, the question, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, let's get straight into the question. The quiz, sorry. Let's get straight into the first fact. He began his professional career at Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he was twice named in the PFA Championship Team of the Year before ever playing in the Premier League. The second fact, he suffered a serious knee injury early in his career that delayed his Premier League debut by over a year. The third fact, he was part of that Man City squad that won their first Premier League title in the dramatic 2011-2012 season. Fourth fact, he also played for Everton, Aston Villa and West Brom during his Premier League career. And the fifth and the final fact, known for being a reliable central defender, he earned over 25 caps for England, including appearances at Euro 2012. There you go, let us know in the comments if you know who that is, and we will reveal him in the next video.
Perfect, guys. It's been a great video. Thank you guys for coming in. If you guys want to leave comments down below on whether you agree with some of the opinions we've had, any hot takes potentially you guys think, I think that's also something we will be very interested in, and hopefully we can react to it, because obviously now we do have the international break. We probably could have a little bit of time. So if you guys want to leave hot takes in the comments of this video, that would be great, so we can sort of have the point of discussion maybe. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for coming in. Please leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get notified when we upload videos, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.